Hello, I'm Tonya, and welcome to Highly Sensitive Wellness. Today we're talking about how to stop worrying about the opinions of other people. Human beings are social creatures. Caring what other people think of us is just part of our evolutionary survival. And today we might not need tribes to survive, but we do need other people for intimacy and companionship. Even if we don't necessarily want to be around a lot of people or want to have like a ton of friends, as sensitive people, we still place a lot of importance and value on our relationships. But because we're misunderstood as sensitive people, we can often end up worrying about what others think of us and sometimes even spiraling about it. Everyone wants to be liked, appreciated, and loved, but positive, nurturing relationships can be hard to find as highly sensitive people. Maybe like me, you grew up in a family that couldn't or wouldn't support your emotional needs. So you have a strong need for reassurance from other people or validation. Maybe just living life as an HSP, you've learned to judge yourself too harshly, and it's really affected your self-esteem, resulting in a lack of confidence and maybe even fear of rejection. When we care too much about what others think, we give away our power. And we do this by letting other people make decisions for us, by changing our opinions to fit in. Maybe we have trouble setting boundaries. One of my favorites used to be constantly apologizing, even when we've done nothing wrong. And as HSPs, it's so easy for us to overthink and overanalyze ourselves. And this can really start to put us in an unhealthy state of mind. Here are 5 ways that have helped me to take back my power and really free myself from a lot of the burden of caring about what others think. Number 1 is to embrace your imperfections. Many of us get so stuck in seeking perfectionism. This is one of my personal biggest battles. And even though we know that perfection is impossible, something deep inside of us still yearns for it. Anyone who thinks less of us for making mistakes has likely made much bigger ones than we ever will. So whether criticism comes from a friend or a stranger or your mom or your cousin, anything they say is more of a reflection of them and not on you. There's a really great quote by Drew Barrymore that I love where she says, "When things are perfect, that's when you need to worry most." And I remind myself of this anytime I work on something that I care deeply about, like this channel. Perfectionism is unfair, it's unproductive, and it's unhealthy. And making mistakes is often the best way that we learn and grow. Number 2 is to stop marching in the pleasing parade. It's an impossible task. No matter how hard we try, we will never live up to the expectations of some people. And guess what? That's okay. We can twist ourselves into trying to please some people, and they will still find fault with some things that we say or do, some things that we create, things that we just put out in the world. And so we have to please ourselves first for our own mental health and just do our best to let the rest fall away. You can be the kindest, most compassionate person there will ever be. And still, some people will not like you. And we have to learn to be okay with it. Number 3 is people really aren't thinking about you all that much. And we're all the heroes of our own story. It's pretty rare that whoever did the criticizing of you is still thinking about what they said to you for very long after the fact. It's likely that they've already moved on to criticize someone else. And 99% of the time, people are only thinking about themselves. And because we're highly sensitive, we often feel that people maybe are judging us more harshly than they actually are. And we're much harder on ourselves than anyone else could ever be. Number 4 is set mindful boundaries on overthinking. Boundaries are a healthy way to take care of our mental health, but it's so much easier said than done. First, we have to figure out, number one, what our individual boundaries are. And then we need to learn to be flexible with them as we grow and as we change. This is where self-reflection and consistency are really important, because we need to continually remind ourselves what we want to spend our very precious and short time worrying about, and letting go of what isn't worth a second thought. If you're in a headspace where you just can't shake the worry or the spiraling or the overthinking, what I do is just try setting a timer and journaling about it. If I'm struggling, I'll set a timer for 5 minutes and either write out or sometimes even make a video journal about what I'm feeling. And then I just delete it. I let it go and I move on. It takes a lot of practice, but trust me, it really does work to just cleanse your system of all of that. Let it go. Number 5 is find just little ways to be present. Focusing on the present moment and having a consistent mindfulness practice can really start to invite a monumental shift into our perspective of the world. When we spend time worrying about what others think, we really miss so many other important moments in our lives. When you notice you're worrying about someone else, what someone else thinks, or maybe a mistake that you've made, just stop and take a breath and then create that moment for yourself. These moments don't have to be anything huge and groundbreaking. They can be as small as maybe stopping to play with your kids or spending quality time with your dog or your cat. Kids and animals are the best teachers of mindfulness. They live in the present moment and they don't have any judgment. So, my friends, here's the bottom line. Life is too short to be held hostage by others' opinions. We're all on a unique journey, and not everyone will understand your journey, and they definitely won't appreciate it, and that's okay. Do we really want to spend even one precious moment worrying about what other people are thinking? Trying to live our lives as a smaller version of who we are in the hope that they might like us or love us just a little bit more. I have spent way too long in that space, and I don't want that for you, for anyone else. And so here's the proof that it's possible to let go of others' opinions, because I'm here talking to you now. Some people will love us and some won't. And guess what? None of that has anything to do with us. Remember that you are valued, that you are not alone. And until next time, take care and stay true to yourself.